One of the most powerful ways to get found on YouTube as a business owner is to create search-driven content. But how in the world do you create content that is actually going to get found in search? So in this video, I want to share a few tricks that I have up my sleeve for actually getting your YouTube videos found and how you can do research to actually make sure the videos you are creating can potentially get found by your ideal client when they are searching things on YouTube. And real quick, if you're interested in getting a deep dive into my full YouTube strategy, I really encourage you to watch my free online class, How to Scale with YouTube in only 4 hours per week, no fancy tech required. The link to that free class is going to be right below in the description. So when you're trying to think about creating search-driven content, there really are two main things that you need to be thinking about and to combine those together to actually make impactful content that's going to get found, right? So number one is figuring out what topics your ideal client is searching for. Like what things are they actually going into YouTube, typing in the search bar that you could then get videos ranked for and get found by them, right? And then secondly is what topics and what specific like titles and keywords can you specifically get ranked for easily on YouTube? Because something more generic, for example, like an Instagram tutorial is going to be a lot harder to rank for because it's more vague, right? So the more vague typically the search term, the harder it's going to be to get ranked. But depending on your channel, your analytics, your audience size, you can still get ranked for those terms, but sometimes some things more specific, like for example, how to add text to an Instagram reel might be a little bit easier to get ranked for that because it's a little more specific, right? It's telling people, not a full Instagram tutorial, but it's giving them a hack on or tutorial on how to do one specific thing. And typically when it gets more specific like that, there's less competition. There's fewer people who are making videos for that specific problem if they're searching. And if it's something that people are actually searching for, that's kind of where the gold is and where you can get more easily found on YouTube. So now you're probably wondering, how do I even figure out what certain titles or keywords are gonna get me more easily ranked on YouTube? And my solution to this that has served me so well over the past 5 or 6 years of growing on YouTube is a tool called TubeBuddy. So there is a free version and a paid version that you can upgrade for it. I'm gonna show you a little bit some of the differences. But if you look to your screen now, essentially what TubeBuddy is you can install it as an extension on your browser. So you'll see in the upper right hand corner of YouTube, I have TubeBuddy installed right here. And this is where you can, there's a lot of tools within TubeBuddy that you can use. I really don't use a lot of them, but the main one I use is that when you search something in YouTube, you are able to see how that's going to rank for your channel, but also just as a whole. And so I'm gonna show you a couple examples of what I mean here. So for example, let's say I wanted to create a video on Instagram Reels. Okay, so I'm gonna search Instagram Reels, and what this is, this is how I research a lot of my YouTube video ideas and kind of validate them and see if they're going to be a good idea for my channel. And it's almost even thinking of how you phrase things. You could create, a video that could be phrased 10 different ways, but figuring out what way you phrase that title is going to actually get you ranked easier. And so the goal, if you look on the right hand side, this is where there's a little section for TubeBuddy on the sidebar that's going to basically give you what the results are for that search term. So it's going to tell you, you'll see over here search volume, you'll see competition, and then you'll see an overall score. And so search volume, if that's green, that means that a lot of people are searching that term. And then competition, if it's green, that means not a lot of people are making videos on that. So on the flip side, if search volume is in the red, that means that there's not a lot of people actually searching that term, which means it might not be the best video for you to create unless it's one you just want to create for your existing audience, but it's probably not going to get found a lot on YouTube because people aren't actually searching for that topic. And same with competition. On the flip side, if it's in the red, that means there are a lot of videos that people are creating around that topic and with those keywords. And so it's going to be harder for you to rank because there is more competition. So for this keyword, Instagram Reels, because Instagram is one of my niches, one of the topics that I talk about within my industry. That's why I'm using that as an example here. So this would not be a great keyword. Initially, when it comes up, you'll see by overall, it says unweighted. That means that it is not weighting it against your channel. You can also click below this, and this is where you do have to upgrade and pay for Pro, or I don't even know if it's called Pro, the paid version of TubeBuddy in order to have access to this feature. But if you click on click here for weighted, it will tell you that based on your channel analytics, your past videos, how they've performed, and just your overall channel, what YouTube knows about it, or what TubeBuddy knows about it, I guess, how they think your channel is going to rank for that keyword. So mine even went down. So it weighted it against my channel and said you have a 10, like the score here is 10 out of 100 instead of 19 out of 100. Basically saying this is not a great keyword for me to actually create a video on. So I'm gonna get more creative. I'm gonna think, okay, if I do wanna create a video on Instagram Reels, what are some other things that I could create, or what are some topics within Instagram Reels I could create a video on that might get more specific, that people might be searching for, but that's not gonna have as much competition. It's gonna be easier for me to get ranked. So for example, Instagram Reels, let's do tutorial for beginners, and let's just see what comes up here. So on the right-hand side, the score is already looking a lot better, so 64, and the search volume is really high. There is still some competition, but it looks like because the search volume is so high that I still might be able, so I'm gonna weight it against my channel, still 61, which is pretty good. So this would be one that I could go for if I want to. I probably just need to be very strategic and figure out ways that I can stand out from people who are making similar videos. This is where you can do research too, like what videos are popping up, what colors are they using, what words are they using, to kind of help show you, oh, there's me right there, to show you like what's working, but also to make something different. So for example, I could look at these videos here that are being ranked. A lot of them are using like blues and purples and pinks. So if I wanted to stand out, I could use like, for example, the color green or yellow in my thumbnail, and that might make me stand out a little bit more. So you can even think about things like that when you're trying to figure out how to get ranked a little bit better. If you're interested in checking out TubeBuddy, the link will be below in the description where you can sign up and try it out. Again, there is a free version that gives you a lot of features without having to pay to upgrade for it. If you're wondering where even to start with those topics that you would then search in TubeBuddy, my biggest recommendations are to see what's working for other people in your niche, to see what your own audience is asking you already, what content is performing well on other platforms, like what topics are generally performing, and at the end of the day, making sure the topics and videos you create do align with your niche. And I also wanted to mention here, if this was helpful and you want an even deeper dive into YouTube strategy and specifically how to use YouTube as a business owner, how to use it to generate traffic and awareness for your business that's ultimately gonna convert into sales, I would love to invite you to join my free YouTube class. So it's an on-demand class. You can watch it at any time, completely for free. It's about an hour long. The link, well, actually, I think it ended up being like an hour and a half long last time. So you can watch the replay of that at any time. The link is right below in the description. I would love to invite you to join me. And the way that I teach YouTube is very strategic for business owners who are looking to sell their own paid offers, who are looking to do it in a way that's not gonna make it another full-time job for them, right? And when I was doing YouTube solo by myself, I was doing it in about 4 hours per week when you average it out across different weeks, right? And even nowadays, I've been able to get that down to about 4 to 5 hours per month because of the systems that I have, the workflows that I have, and also how I've strategically built my team, which is something that we'll talk about in the class. So if you want to go ahead and jump to that class, be sure to join me. I would love to have you watch it. I would love to know what you think about it. And as always, if you have any questions about TubeBuddy or anything about YouTube strategy, feel free to leave a comment down below. That's where we really get a lot of video ideas for this channel. So if you're wondering literally anything, please drop a comment. We would love to help you and support you in any way that we can. And I'll see you guys again in next week's video on Tuesday. Bye guys.